I always want to
Okay.
leave it open if there's anything else that you want to say that's on your heart right now that you want the listeners to hear, whether they're kids, adults, people struggling, people chasing fame, whatever it might be. What's the one thing that's on your heart to tell them?
Yeah. So, just to kind of wrap up the story, I mean, there's so much I could share from the hospital, but like when you mentioned the miracle aspect, I mean, I could go on things that shouldn't happen that did happen. And, they were sure they were going to replace my heart, or give me open heart surgery. They were sure my kidneys were forever damaged. They were sure the brain damage was severe. They were sure we were 9 hours away from surgery to amputate both arms at the shoulders. And for me, it was like this question of sovereignty of God and God's fairness. Like that's the question. People leave the church because of it. They're critical of it. They can't subscribe to a God who could allow pain and suffering. Um, and it's like, okay, so is God fair? Is the question. And I don't believe he is. I believe he's unfair. But hear me out, not in a negative way. Because fairness is the thing that should happen, does happen. And the Bible says the wages of sin is death. So it would be fair for God to say, well, you guys screwed up. You ate the fruit and it's over. That would be fair. But grace is not merited or not deserved. So it's actually unfair. But he doesn't stop there. When I ask those questions of why is it that my arms were not removed, that my heart was not damaged, that my kidneys were okay, that my brain damage wasn't severe, why were the best doctors not wrong once or twice, but again and again and again? Why? Because we serve an unfair God that is crazy about us, and it's not fair, it's not merited, it's not about me. But every once in a while he steps in this world and he says, this is still my world and these are still my people and I have the last say. And that's the God we serve, a God who's given us everything. That he doesn't say, hey, I'm going to keep you from the troubles in this world. But John 16:33 says, in this world you will have trouble, but take heart, I've overcome the world. And if he's in us and we're in him, then through him we've overcome the world, that nothing could separate us from the love of God, that we serve a God that, yes, he has a plan for eternity, but we have kingdom living now because he's saying, hey, if you're ready, I'm right here to walk through this with you. And if it's this life or the next life, like I bring restoration, that I will use all things for good. And when I look at my story, my company now is called Beyond the Burn. And it's off this premise that my burns and my scars are on my arms and chest for the whole world to see. If I take my shirt off on the boat to go wake surf with you, like you visually see my struggle. But some of the deepest scars are the ones that are unseen, that are beyond those visual scars. And those are just as important. So I've had over 70 operations in the last 6.5 years. And some people are like, wow, you've been through so much, this or that. And it's like, yeah, but you have too. Like I don't know what it's like to lose a parent. I don't know what it's like for my parents to go through divorce. I don't know what it's like to suffer from anxiety and depression and some of the things that you guys might carry every single day. But God sees those scars and they're just as valuable and just as important. And he's standing at the door knocking, waiting to walk through it. And are we letting him in? Are we saying, okay, Lord, I don't understand this. I don't see the light at the end of the tunnel right here and now, but I need to trust, because it's not about bravery. It's not about courage. It's not about bravery. Like there were tons of fears and doubts and struggles within my experience at the hospital and my experience in surgeries. But what was bigger was a trust. And the definition of trust is a firm belief in someone or something to be reliable and faithful. So it's not that the fears don't exist, but that there is a trust in God and his word to be reliable and faithful. And that's bigger than those fears. So I don't know what you're going through. I don't know what you're carrying. I don't know what you carried in if you're driving your car listening to this or what, but I know that God sees it. And I know that we serve a God that wants to walk through that with you, but are we letting him? Because he's standing at the door knocking, saying, I'm right here.